Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and this is the Not So Serious Keto video podcast. I want to start by talking about the Friday the 13th giveaway that I did. Normally, I do not announce winners in videos, just because I want to be able to respect their privacy. If they don't want people to know who they are or that they won, I want to respect that. But it was so important to me that my international winner win and get her prize. So I know she watches the podcast because I've seen her comments on the podcast before. So Petite D, please take a look at my reply to your comment on the Friday the 13th giveaway video. So with that out of the way, let's talk about Ketovore. I see a lot of people using that term, and I'm like, well, what specifically is Ketovore? I mean, I get that it's a mashup between keto and carnivore, but what specifically does it mean? How is this different from keto? So I looked up Ketovore, and it's just basically keto, but with less carbs, less vegetables or something. I don't know exactly. I read it. I'm like, okay, so how is this different than keto? Other than, yeah, it's just probably a little more focused on meat and a little less on some of the other goodies that we can have on keto. And really, that's what I am. That's outside of recipe videos and product review videos. My meals are basically, I guess, Ketovore. I mean, they're awfully close to carnivore. I find that I've got progressively less interest in things that aren't meat or spices or cheese or any sort of animal product. But what kind of bothers me is the necessity for this separate term. Why do we have to have it? And really, it's sort of a problem that I see within the keto-verse in general, which is this need to sort of brand or segregate or create our own little tribes of keto. Well, I'm Ketovore, I'm dirty keto, I'm clean keto, I'm lazy keto, I'm serious keto. Whatever it is, we're all just keto. And I think, I'm trying to remember which book it was in. It might have been The Obesity Code by Dr. Jason Fung, where he said, we've got all of these low-carb ways of eating that we agree on 90% of, yet we battle each other over the remaining 10%. And I agree with him. I mean, I see it on the internet all the time, and it wears me down. So I'm curious to know, even though, yes, I guess I am Ketovore most of the time, is there a need for this term? Or am I missing something? So those of you who describe yourself as Ketovore, can you tell me why? I'm open-minded. I'm not being judgmental. If you can convince me that there's a good reason for this term, I'm all ears or all eyes, because you can type your comment down below. One of the things that I had mentioned in a previous podcast is I want to start taking a look at certain beliefs, widely held beliefs that I think are inaccurate, related to keto, related to nutrition in general. And I'm going to start that today with breakfast is the most important meal. I think that's the quote. Anyhow, if you trace this quote back, it was widely used, I think, maybe by Grape Nuts or Kellogg's Corn Flakes. It does actually go all the way back to, I think it's John Harvey Kellogg, I think is his full name. Kellogg. He's the guy that created Corn Flakes. And it's just not a statement I agree with. I've been doing intermittent fasting for a long enough period of time that breakfast or morning meal has become almost a foreign concept to me. I maybe have breakfast once a week. And that's too bad because I love breakfasty food. Well, specifically some form of meat and eggs in any sort of configuration. Love it. But I don't eat it because it's breakfast and I don't now even get hungry until at least noon on any given day, sometimes not until 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And one of the issues with living with someone who does not share your way of eating, not just, what I eat, but also when and how I eat, is sometimes you make concessions. So I would be perfectly happy eating bacon and eggs for dinner. My wife, though, no, she will not do that. She's a bacon and eggs for breakfast person. So as a result, I don't eat as much bacon and eggs as I would like. Furthermore, on those times when I do have an actual breakfast, it makes me tired. I feel so much more energetic in a fasted state. If I have breakfast, I'm almost ready to go back to bed. And we talked about this in last week's podcast about the supposed importance of carbs in a diet for energy. And every single person that commented back to me on that said, I have way more energy when I'm fasted. And I agree. There was actually an MMA fighter, I don't recall his name, seems to me it was a French name, but he was on the Joe Rogan podcast and he talked about a lion. And a lion who is full, who's had a meal, will just lie around. No energy. But a lion who's hungry will hunt. So he always trains and always fights in a fasted state. And I totally get that. I mean, my workouts are better in a fasted state. I just, in general, feel that I have more energy physically and mentally in a fasted state. So breakfast, is it the most important meal? I say no. I think every meal is important. What you put in your body is how your body is going to run. So if you're putting trash into your body's going to feel like trash, it's going to run like trash. If you're putting good stuff in your body is going to be energized, it's going to be fueled, it's going to work right, it's going to feel right. So in my opinion, every meal is the most important meal of the day. Now let's circle back for a second to the standard American diet and breakfast. So if you get out and Google, are eggs bad for you? You can actually Google anything, insert any food item, is such and such item bad for you? The answer is yes. You can also type in, are eggs good for you? Into Google and probably find some articles saying yes. But I typed in, are eggs bad for you? And the answer is yes. Well, mostly. Interestingly, a number of articles from the Mayo Clinic show up, and they state that you can have up to 1 egg per day. Actually, their words were up to 1 egg, and I don't know how you have a partial egg, but up to 1 egg may be okay for your heart health. That's exactly how they worded it. May be okay. Maybe not, but maybe it is. 1 egg. 1 egg. So, eggs are bad for you for breakfast. Yet, let's take a look at what we feed children in this country. So here is this ocean blue, artificially maple flavored syrup. Okay, first, this stuff just looks gross. I can't imagine why anyone would want to eat it. Then you take a look at the ingredients. And it's hard to read here, so I'll just tell you what the first two are. Corn syrup and high fructose corn syrup. Now, if that isn't bad enough, that we're feeding basically pure mainline refined sugar to our kids, it partners with this pancake mix, also from Captain Crunch. Now, if you put the two together and just have a single serving, so a single serving is 2 4-inch pancakes and 2 tablespoons of syrup, although even on the box, Captain Crunch himself is eating a serving and a half. If you eat just 1 serving, you're looking at almost 60 grams of carbs. And there's no fiber. You're just sugaring it up. I mean, this is 6 tablespoons of sugar for breakfast. That is not breakfast. That is child abuse, honestly. That is trying to create a future diabetic right there. And I used to mentor some at-risk kids in a local middle school, and they're so hyper at the beginning of the day. They have no attention, and then they start wearing down by lunch, and then for lunch they're eating ice cream sandwiches and Coke and Pop-Tarts and just trash to like refuel, get their energy back. And it's very frustrating. I'm glad that we took a different path with our kids. Even, pre-keto, we tried to make sure that they were eating pretty healthy and avoiding a lot of these sugars. But this is the food. This is the food in that big center part of the grocery store that is an absolute nutritional wasteland. It's probably worse than that. There's probably a worse term than nutritional wasteland. But just all that area of bright colors and packaged food that is just killing us. So that's my little rant on breakfast right there. In other news, I have been continuing to upload my back catalog of recipe videos onto Rumble, and I'm thinking because, and I've mentioned this before, it seems like sometimes when people type the word Rumble in comments, they get deleted. Now, I don't know if YouTube's AI listens for me to say Rumble in a video. For example, maybe I would say, like Bruce Buffer, let's get ready to rumble! Or talk about the movie Rumblefish, or the Rumble in the Jungle fight between George Foreman and Muhammad Ali. There's a lot of rumbles there. So I'm wondering, we could play a couple of different games here. First, should we create a code word for Rumble? That way we can speak it and we can type it in the comments and YouTube doesn't pick it up. I wonder if it would pick up, like if I talked about the robot vacuum. Isn't that called the Roomba? But should we have some sort of a code? Also, if you can think of other instances where the word rumble is used rather famously, just type it in whatever comment you leave down below. Let's see if YouTube catches it. But the reason I bring it up, I think I'm up to maybe the letter M in terms of my recipe videos. I've been getting, probably half a dozen up or more per day. I don't know if there's a limit to what Rumble will accept in terms of videos. I know that on YouTube, I think the maximum you're allowed is 3 videos per day. I haven't gotten any sort of warnings or anything yet from Rumble. I sure am saying that word a lot. I'm pushing my luck with this video. But it's been a lot of fun, honestly, seeing so many of my older videos, older recipes, because I'm uploading in alphabetical order. So I'm seeing a mixture of older and newer videos and recipes. And man, this is not me patting myself on the back or anything like that, but there's some good ones in there. There's some times I kind of look at it. Actually, I do very often look at my videos as a separate entity from me. It may sound weird, but I look at it and I see Steve on recipe videos as sort of maybe a slightly different person than the Steve that just sits across a table and talks to you. But I see some of these, I'm like, wow, that's a really good recipe. I need to make that again. So if you are over there on the R Word platform, check them out. Maybe you'll see some that you haven't seen in a while, or maybe you've never seen. I mean, it's not like I'm going to make any money over there. I think in total, in the 3 or 4 weeks that I've been there, I've made $2.26. So I'm not setting the world on fire financially over there. But it is good to have another platform on the internet where my videos exist should something happen with YouTube. And you never know. You never know. Better safe than sorry. On the topic of recipes, I was really pleased at the reception that my Ultimate Burger video got from all of you. I was really kind of expecting the whole, whoa, that's way too much work, but I didn't get that, and that makes me happy. That video, that took a lot of work, really. Mostly getting the seasoning blend dialed in, getting all the right ratios of the katsuobushi or bonito flakes, the shiitake mushrooms, the kombu seaweed, and then I tried out probably half a dozen different other add-ins to see did it further boost the umami on that powder. So besides the Worcestershire powder and the beef powder, I tried nutritional yeast, I tried brewer's yeast, I tried mesquite powder. There was a couple of others, but I tried different combinations of them as well. Like, oh, hey, these two work well together. What if I add in this other one that also seemed to work well? And I really found myself starting to go down a bit of a rabbit hole here. Like, how many different configurations can I try? And kind of had to dial it back. But that's often what goes into making recipes, is you're trying out all of these different combinations. This is one of the reasons why I generally have not done keto baking. I'd far rather let somebody else do something like that, play around with different ratios and things like that, and let them master that while I play around with things like spices and seasonings and condiments and such. But whenever I go through a video like that that's more complex, it so ups my respect for everybody that does any sort of recipe creation and cooking videos. And I hope by explaining this to you that it gives you a greater appreciation for all the different channels that do these cooking videos and create recipes from scratch or attempt to mimic a non-keto recipe and create a keto-fied version. It just makes me proud to be part of a group like that, of people that experiment in the kitchen and come up with fun and tasty things. And certainly you are part of that group as well. Anytime you want to try and tweak one of my recipes and post your results, whether it's good or bad, I want you to feel absolutely free to do that. You're not going to hurt my feelings changing one of my recipes. In fact, if you make it better, that's awesome. You're part of the Serious Keto Test Kitchen. So by all means, play around with my recipes, have fun with them, post your results. The final topic I want to discuss is Perfect Keto and some changes that you're going to see from them. So if you are a fellow content creator and an affiliate marketing partner with Perfect Keto, you got an email about this. I got it a little bit earlier than you because I've been working with Perfect Keto to do a special deal at the beginning of November. It was going to be a sale just for Serious Keto viewers, and it was going to be on the nighttime collagen cocktail that I make. And we were going to do all 3 different flavors. I think last year when we did it, it was just the turmeric coconut, I think is the flavor, along with the cinnamon toast collagen. I think we just did that combo last year, and it was a huge success. So the plan was to do it again this year, but do all 3 flavors. And I got an email from Perfect Keto telling me they were not going to be doing that, change of plans, because they are moving off of the Shopify platform, and they're going to sell exclusively through Amazon. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. I guess I'm taking sort of a wait-and-see attitude. I don't know what impact it will have on price or coupon codes or sales or discounts or anything like that for you and for me. I suppose if the prices are the same and you're Amazon Prime and you're getting free shipping and you don't need to order $60 or $75 or whatever it was from Perfect Keto, then maybe you like it. Maybe it's a good thing. But like I said, I don't know how I feel just because I don't know how this is going to play out. But just so all of you know, coming probably right after the Halloween sale, you're going to see a change in Perfect Keto. And I think they're also probably going to start paring down their product offerings a little bit. I think they want to focus mostly on bars and supplements. So once again, we'll see how all of that plays out. But that is going to be it for this podcast. I think what I'll do is I'll throw a couple videos up here that are sort of cool recipes that I've rediscovered since I've been posting stuff on Rumble, so you can check them out too. That's it. As always, thanks for spending a little bit of time with me. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching.